I'm not early on this, but I did want to cover it. So we have a unfortunate happening to this young man. Let's get into it.
Let's go, Deuce. Let's go, Deuce.
A touchdown that made his dad cheer. A moment that felt like a beginning.
Money.
He's 18 now, but Baruch Williams has worked for a shot at college ball since he was 5. The Plainfield native chose Aurora University, 30 minutes from home, for the field and the feel.
I went on a visit, I think in like December, and I just really like the culture, and I just like the facilities and the campus, really.
Weeks into his first semester, he says that feeling changed and the locker room turned hostile.
At first, they had made some N-word comments, and I was just like shocked and like appalled by it. And then after that, shortly, he said, another guy said, why are you sleeping here? Don't you guys sleep in trees?
And he was the only black player in that room. He said,
why would I make a video about this? Okay, so my experience. I have a, sad to say, but a unique opinion about how to be black around a lot of white people. I was in the Army 9 years. My job was a combat role. So in combat roles, statistically, there aren't as many black people. It's majority white. So I learned how to get along well with these people. Here's my thing, though. So I'm not racially sensitive. I guess I'm from a different time. The reality is that we're never going to ever see the end of racism. I like to think it's like our developmental phase of life. I think it's something that you're supposed to outgrow, where we know it exists, but now we just function as adults. But it's always there if you want to fight with someone and you want to dig it out as a tool to hurt somebody.
As a George Floyd reference followed, and all he could see was the scene the world can't unsee. Floyd dying under an officer's knee, and fear set in.
You're 6'3" saying this to a 5'7", that's intimidating.
So this family went into what seems to be a predominantly white community. They wanted the benefits, the low crime, the opportunity. You know, there was things there that were appealing to them. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. You wanted to be around all these white people, you need to accept what comes with it. Now, that's not me saying that you have to allow them to harm you, but there are going to be growing pains that you have to accept. Football is a lot in ways similar to the military. It's a very masculine environment. You're going to talk smack to each other. You're going to hear racist jokes. It's not something women understand. This is something men do. It's a bonding ritual. In most cases, it's a bonding ritual. My family, we make fun of each other's weight. We punch at each other's insecurities or things that you would never poke at with people that you don't know or people that you aren't related to. We're close in this way. In the military, poking at each other on personal levels, you need to be able to hurt together. They're going to be on the field on the same team, protecting each other from hits, hitting somebody because their brother got hit, their teammate got hit, the same guy they're ripping on. We don't know the full story. This could have been an environment, someone like myself, I would joke around with them. On paper, you can't say any of this is appropriate or okay. But they very well could have been joking.
As a mother, I was devastated, to say the least. Our whole family has been affected by this.
I will address the mother situation at the end.
Brooke's mom, Aisha, says reporting it felt like a second fight. She pushed for a formal investigation.
So another problem we have in this country now, we have an epidemic of fake hate crimes. You do an investigation only to find out the alleged victim is the actual perpetrator doing it themselves, like spraying racist remarks on their own property. That should not be swept under the rug. It's a problem. I would argue that the majority of people I've experienced aren't racist, even if they say racist things. They would pull over and give you a ride. They'd help you change your tire.
Next day, I'm emailing again, calling to the school, emailing, even the coach. I emailed him as well. And so finally, the vice president scheduled a meeting with us, and we went and sat down with her and the coach, my husband and my son.
The school's investigation found 2 players created a hostile environment based on race. Brooks says they kept playing while that investigation was going on. Their initial punishment, suspended from the team and put on disciplinary probation. But after lawyers got involved in an appeal, that changed. They take racial sensitivity training and be back on the field next January.
And you've now taught these young men to, it's not that they're going to learn a lesson. However they felt is going to be the same. But now, because you're messing with their lives over this, you're just going to make them not want to be around black people. Boom. There you go. I mean, is that what you want? You know, on some level, I do understand where some of this is coming from. It's like playground stuff. Let me explain. So when you take your child to a playground, there is a certain level of control you will never have. You have to let your child interact with other children, and they have to be able to do it on their own. And I'm only explaining that because if you're not a parent, it's possible you wouldn't know about this. But parents struggle with this because your child means everything to you. It hurts to watch your child make a corny joke to another child, and the child says your joke sucks and makes your child cry. They might get picked on, but they have to find where they fit into society. Parents want to get involved and make other kids react to your child, to their child, in a way that makes their child feel good. But you can't do that. You're not going to be there all the time. So that's kind of similar to what's happening here. It may hurt you, Mom, but your son, you moved here to where these people were. Your son wanted to join them to play the game. And so a joke was made inappropriately, but if they didn't hurt your son, if they're not coming after him, then it was up to him to figure out how to hold his own and establish a relationship with these people. If there are any moments of any of those boys protecting your son from hits, and you went after them with your HR powers, you should be ashamed. That's what mattered. There was always the possibility this may have happened. In my opinion, I think that when you moved here, you're waiting for an opportunity because you went to the news. You came after these people. You had all of this locked, loaded, and ready.
Aisha says a meeting with the coach made it worse. That coach, former NFL player Don Beebe, a Super Bowl winner with the Packers, told them he knew the families of the players accused.
The words that he spoke in front of us and the vice president, I used to be in the NFL. I had black friends. Me and my black friends told racist jokes. He said,
you see, there you go. And your son, who's never seen slavery and is so far removed from slavery, it doesn't make sense to be obsessing about it every day, is soft and can't handle any of these jokes. In fact, he's so soft that maybe he shouldn't be on a field competing in such a scary environment. And I do mean with all due respect, truthfully, if he's hurt, then I hope he can feel better. maybe you should get him into catching Pokemon. We should have a rule that if your son comes to play football, if you don't have a dad, your son can't play. Yeah, your son can't play. We don't need him. We don't know if he has any male influence for what he's about to do. We don't need any liabilities. And if we do see a dad show up and he lets his wife do all of the talking, your son can't play either. Like, it should be banned from letting my... And I do understand there's a lot of like emotionally destroyed young men because their mom is like absolutely screwing them up, and it makes them like perfect candidates to want to run full speed into someone else. But this is what you get, where we can't make jokes about each other. We can slam into each other and turn each other's brains to mush, but we can't make any offensive jokes. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just from a different era or something. Maybe I'm the problem. All right. But like I said, I did combat in the military. And so my sense of priorities are just not wired to want to talk to the news and come after people's livelihoods over something like this. This is getting out of hand.
I want to forgive the kids like Jesus forgave David for being a murderer.
Brooke never got an apology, not from the players, not from the coach. She says the coach stopped speaking to him in film sessions, even skipped his plays on screen. That, he says, was the moment he knew he couldn't stay.
When we had, honestly, it was hurtful because I've been working so hard. I saved a bunch of money to go to school, and now I'm stuck working again. I can't go back to school until January, and I don't know where I want to go.
The university sent us a statement. It says it takes reports seriously, and federal law limits what it can share. It says every report is reviewed, and action follows if there's a violation. Brooklyn says the process left him with one question.
Really, it's just like, am I enough? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
It's a question past students of color have had. A 1987 Chicago Tribune article describes similar racial tensions at Aurora University, from KKK graffiti to fear in dorms. 4 decades later and across the country, race-based harassment reports on campuses remain among the top categories of civil rights complaints. The FBI tracked more than 11,000 hate crimes in 2024, most tied to race. The Williams family says it's shocking, but they're not shocked.
Several.
And just a reminder, not even in saying that none of this stuff ever happens, but it's also a scapegoat. A lot of people will cry victimhood in these scenarios when they do in fact suck. I mean, if you want to go Pareto distribution, then the majority of people aren't champions. It's similar to like a guy that's into like a black guy that's into a white girl, right? But she turns him down. So he says, "Oh, you're racist." Right? It's the same. You're going to get a high rate of people reporting racial prejudices when the one factor we're not allowed to talk about is what if they just suck and they need an excuse.
His teammates have vocalized that they're scared to say anything. Caucasian students, by the way. And that's why they didn't speak up for him when he was being antagonized and harassed that night. So I'm not surprised. What we allow will continue, so.
For other families, this is about more than one team or one university. Experts say ask colleges how they handle discrimination, what training teams receive, and how the school ensures safety after a report. All things Brooke's dad, Jerry, wondered. He stayed quiet, a silent support close by, until he couldn't anymore.
If you could speak directly to Aurora's president and board, what would you say?
Listen to this young black man.
You know, all jokes aside, you can see everything that you need to see at the very end. All right. If you were going to engage with the media, and if you were going to come after these people, after their jobs, their livelihoods, if you were willing to start all of this, why would you let your wife be the number one face talking to the media, which is the entire world, about this? It's a form of battle. You're opening yourself up. What if there was some type of secret syndicate that does come after people because they're racist, they're institutionally empowered to go after black people? Why would you want your wife to be the voice of your home? It's your job to protect your children, your wife, your family. That is your job. So you're just going to stay silent while your wife is pitching these arrows, taking these arrows. And I could tell there's, in that last remark, listen to this black man. All right. Well, now I understand the mentality of your home. You have a very race-focused. You know, another thing about these types of events, these are happening all over the country. Anywhere that is a masculine, competitive environment that you're letting races intermingle, this is the standard. Let's flip it. You're a black guy. You're a crew of black guys. You're about to go to war. You get a new team member, and it's a white guy. All right? Now, you need to know that he's not weak. You need to know that he's going to have your back in battle. And so this is, you probably already know where I'm going with this. You just start cracking on him hard, and you'll say anything you can to try to get under his skin, because you need to see exactly how tough he is. Right? Am I making sense now? In this inversion theoretical, you should be able to understand what the environment of what this locker room is, what men are like. All right? This is a nothing story. All right? You're training your son to be weak, and I'm sorry to say that. If you really want to help your son, stop hiding behind your wife. Stop fighting your battles, and through HR, you're trying to get your son to have a career by slamming his head into people as hard as he can. Okay? You need to teach your son how not to be intimidated. You literally went the complete opposite. You said, oh no, son, not only should you be intimidated when someone talks crap, you should try to get them fired. Their desire to physically hurt you will also vanish with their job title. It's the best. And also, when we get done telling this to the world, people will stop wanting to make jokes against you ever again. Come to think about it, I think that you might have absolutely destroyed your son. You put his face on the internet forever, complaining about racist jokes. You've done such a disservice to your black son. And this is coming from another black father. You're supposed to be giving him all the tools he needs to succeed in the world without you. And you just taught him how to be a loud victim. instead of teaching him how to move the world with his own hands, how to outthink his enemies, maneuver, all he can do is tattle. From a warrior's mindset, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, but you're using game footage as B-roll footage. How tough can you be?
Look, I got 4 kids. All right, you don't know what I do, and I had to put something up here. All right, get over it. I'm also new to the YouTube video thing, so maybe we'll get into what I do later.